and welcome to the daily life of a motion designer. After learning the fundamental font tools in After Effects, it's time to explore text options and parameters. When you create a text layer, you will find several parameters within it. The first one is the source text. In After Effects, source text refers to the text content in a text layer. It's the editable text you see when working with the text layer in your composition. Let's write a word. Go to the source text. Click the stopwatch to activate the animation. Move the indicator a bit forward. Double-click and type something new. Move the indicator forward again and type a third word. You can repeat these steps as many times as you like. Move the indicator a bit forward. Double-click and type something. If you check the keyframes, you will see they are hold keyframes, meaning the source text holds its value and then jumps to the next keyframe's value. This creates a sudden change. Easy peasy. Now let's jump into the pad option. Pad options become active when you create a mask on a text layer. So select the text and make a mask. Several parameters will appear once you select the mask from the drop-down menu. It is similar to the warp text tools in Photoshop. Use the selection tool and move the vertices to move the mask line. You can even animate the mask path. Pad options has 5 parameters. The first one, reverse path. This moves the text inside or outside the mask. Perpendicular to path. This is on by default. If you turn it off, it follows your line of sight and the text will no longer follow the mask perpendicularly. Force alignment. It's spread your letters or characters along the mask line. The first margin. The first margin pushes the first characters forwards or backwards when you enable force alignment. The last margin is similar to the first margin, but it affects the last character. Position your text precisely along the mask line by adjusting both margins. Reset the margins and disable the force alignment. When force alignment is off, first margin and last margin will move the entire word or words rather than pushing individual characters. In this case, paragraph alignment almost matter. If left aligned, only the first margin works. If right aligned, only the last margin works. If center aligned, both margins works together. Now that we've covered this part, let's do some exercises. Exercise 1. I have prepared the project. You can download the project file and photos from the link in the description. Import a photo, make a composition and write a text. Edit the color or the font size as you wish. Select the text layer and create a circular mask around the coin, using the space, Ctrl and Shift keys to create a perfect circle. Set the mask as a path for the text. Reverse the path to move the text outside the circle. Then, adjust the first and last margins to position the text. Exercise 2. When the force alignment is on, import the moon photo and create a composition. This is a JPG image and I need to scale down the moon individually. So, mask the moon and scale it down. Use the space, Ctrl or Shift keys to create a perfect circle around the moon. Hit S and scale it down. Write some text and adjust the font size or color if needed. Create a circular mask around the moon as the text layer is selected. Open the text properties, select Mask 1 as the path, and enable Reverse Path. You can edit your text at any time simply by double-clicking. Adjust the margins to place the text in a good position. Enable Force Alignment. Now you can push the first and the last margins and place the text where you want. Duplicate the text, double-click and edit it. Then adjust the margins and place the new text in a good position. Exercise 3. Move the text along the mask path. Import the mountain photo and create a composition. Write the text and adjust the font size and the fill color. While the text layer is selected, use the pen tool to create a line mask about the mountain. Open the text pad and adjust Mask 1 as the path. Move the text outside and animate the first margin. Move the indicator in the timeline and increase the margin value. For a better result, active motion blur. Experiment with perpendicular to path to see the different effects. Exercise 4. Worm movement. Let's create a text that moves like a worm. The worms move their head while their tail is stopped, then move their tail while their head is stopped. Import the photo and create a composition. Write the text and adjust the fill color or font size. Select the pen tool. Create a line mask about the hill while the text layer is selected. Adjust the vertices. Use the Convert Vertex tool to change the vertices from linear to Bezier and achieve the handle. Open Properties and add Mask 1 to the path. First, enable Force Alignment to activate, pushing the first and the last margin. Now animate the text like a worm. Move the first margin means head, while the last margin means tail remain still, then alternate. Move the last margin and set a stopped keyframe for the first margin. Then move the first margin and set a no change keyframe for the last margin. Continue this pattern to make the text scroll across the scene. Select all keyframes and hit F9. Turn on Motion Blur for a smooth effect and preview. Exercise 5. Text and Rotoscopy Technique. I need the text that moves behind the subject like this. Import the photo and create a composition. Write a text. Adjust the font size and the fill color. As the text layer is selected, use the pen tool to create a line mask and adjust it as needed. Use the Convert Vertex tool to change the vertices from linear to Bezier and achieve the handle. To move the vertices, press and hold the Ctrl key. Open the text properties and add Mask 1 to the path. Check out the paragraph panel and be sure the center alignment is activated. Now, move the text outside the composition and animate the margins to bring it into the scene. Select the keyframes and hit F9. Active Motion Blur and preview the scene. It's time to separate the subject from the background. So, name one layer background and duplicate the photo. Name the other foreground. Select the pen tool and mask the foreground elements, Lady and the Hill. Make sure to close the mask. Be careful to account for gaps, so mask the gaps and change the gap mask to subtract. Place the text between the background and the foreground layers. Hit U to see the keyframes, select them, go to the graph editor, edit the graph, and preview the scene. Creating soft mask edges. Select the foreground layer, hit F to access the mask feather, and increase it to around 10. Text tools are evolving. So in the next episode of this series, I'll show you how to use saved text presets in After Effects or create your own custom text animation presets. I hope to hear from you and your experiences in the comment. Stay tuned for more episodes where we'll dive even deeper into the creating dynamic typography and animations. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Have a great day and I'll see you next time on the daily life of a motion designer.